Hello everyone, today we're gonna get the hardest shadow achievement in Cookie Clicker without relying on extreme luck or extremely fast clicking. The only golden cookie we'll get is gonna be a regular frenzy, and for the rest we'll just rely on good strategic decisions to get us to 1 million cookies in under 15 minutes. The run is divided into two stages, pre-golden cookie spawn and post-golden cookie spawn. In the first phase, manual cookie production by clicking the big cookie as fast as you can is extremely important, as nearly all of our cookie production in the first few minutes comes from manual clicking. Thus, your rate of progress is almost entirely dependent on your clicking speed. For instance, we skipped buying the first cursor ASAP, which amounts to 15 seconds of missed cursor production, but that's way less than missing a second of manual production. So, early on, we are not gonna take time off clicking to buy stuff individually, as each time we take a second to buy something, we lose a second of manual production, and as long as manual production is the lion's share of our total cookie production, we lose almost a full second of production every time we wander off to make a purchase. Currently, not wasting manual production time is much more important than following the theoretical optimal purchasing order of individual buildings, so instead we collect 300 cookies and buy 9 more cursors in one control click. And we follow it up by obtaining our first 3 grandmas in bulk, as having 3 grandmas is totally fine in current times. And soon will be even finer, as in the next step we'll be obtaining 2 more grandmas living on farms, bringing our total to 5 grandmas and 2 farms, notated as 5-2. We finally have some automatic cookie production now, but as you can see in my manually and painstakingly edited in clicked cookies per second counter, we are currently still producing 80% of our cookies by clicking, so we'll still be obtaining the farm and the grandma in one purchasing adventure. Going back to the start of the run, we first beelined 2 upgrades which each double the cookies per second from both cursors and clicking, costing 100 and 500 cookies. To illustrate why, your grandma bakes only 1 cookie per second, but costs the same as the click doubler upgrade at 100 cookies, which sadly makes ignoring grandma 7 times more effective than visiting her. The second doubler costs 500 cookies, but was already worth 14 extra cookies per second, which still makes it almost 3 times as effective as elder napping grandma to start off your elderly workforce. The third clicker doubler, however, costs 10,000 cookies, and by the time we'll be able to afford that one, we'll no longer need it, and in fact, we'll be ignoring it for the rest of the run. Instead, we'll be going for the upgrade which forces our 5 grandmas to work 16 hours per day, doubling their individual cookie production from 1 cookie per second to 2. With grandmas now baking cookies twice as fast, we can afford to spend twice as much hiring individual grandmas. The price of purchasing goes up by 15% each time, roughly doubling the cost per grandma after each 5 hires. So indeed, we hire 5 more grandmas and complement them with 5 more cursors. Automatic cookie production has already surpassed manual cookie production by now. And your manual clicking speed becomes less and less important as the run progresses. Up until now though, fast clicking was everything, so try your best to get a fast split on getting 4 cookies per click and on achieving 50 cookies per second. After that, with automatic cookie production having a 60% and ever increasing share of our total cookie production, missing a second of clicking to purchase something now costs us only 0.4 seconds of production, and that time cost will go down to near zero as the run progresses. Therefore, from this moment on, we'll be buying each individual building, person and upgrade individually. My strategy has been a mix of the theoretical optimal purchasing order, but with taking into account practical considerations and limitations, like implementing the early game bulk buying to reduce the time spent not clicking when clicking was extremely important. By now though, both the effect of missed clicking time has been greatly reduced and the time between individual purchases has been significantly increased. So, except for tiny deviations to make the order of execution easier to remember, we are following pretty close to the purely theoretical optimum from here on out. I have thrown together a crappy spreadsheet to find the purchase with the highest ROI, a unitless number where it simply means bigger number is better number. So that means after purchasing Farm 4 and Grandma 12, now the expensive Grandma doubler has gained enough momentum from the 12 Grandmas that it's the superior choice by far. That will double the Grandma's base cookies per second to 4, which means the next 5 best buys are Grandmas, and so on. So, as we just spreadsheeted out, now we buy 5 Grandmas in quick succession. And then it'll be back to step 9, which is buying Farm Grandma for the 3rd time already. The spreadsheet doesn't automatically correct for opportunity cost though, but in close cases it's easy to do by hand by adding the amount of missed CPS by not buying something cheaper first to the cost of the expensive purchase. For instance, the Grandma doubler has a better ROI than Grandma 12, but if we factor in the 52 seconds of 2 missed cookies per second from buying Grandma 12 earlier, the actual cost of waiting for the Grandma doubler becomes 5114 cookies, making the ROI of the doubler versus Grandma 12 exactly equal. Since step 5, 7 and 9 can be exactly the same if we choose to purchase Grandma 12 first, that's the option I went for. And I would even simplify the steps in this way if the ROI was slightly worse. Alright, enough with the spreadsheets. It is almost golden cookie time, and then things will get hectic. The golden cookie will spawn on average after 7.5 minutes in the game, but it could easily be up to a minute earlier or later due to randomness. The good news is, for us it doesn't matter too much, as with a golden cookie frenzy, the game will simply run at 7 times speed for 77 seconds, giving us 9 minutes of automatic cookie production progress regardless of its spawn time. A later golden cookie is slightly better though, as we will stop manual cookie production during the frenzy. Both because manual production doesn't benefit from a frenzy yet, and because we'll be too busy trying to play the game at 7 times normal speed. Our time will be better spent trying to purchase stuff at the earliest possibility, as also every second wasted will be frenzied up to 7 seconds of missed increased production. This can easily cause a compounding snowball effect, which delays progress significantly. So, learn the next part of the strategy well so you can perform it flawlessly. Fortunately, most of the purchases are expensive upgrades, which gives you a couple seconds to operate your brain between purchases. The bad news is, about half of the runs end here. For our low luck demonstration, we require specifically one of the 2 normal outcomes of a golden cookie. There's the lucky effect, which unluckily ends the run, as it's worth mere seconds of cookie production at this stage. And there is the frenzy we require, which gives us an extra 7.7 minutes worth of cookie production on top of what we already make. We will get a frenzy about 42.5% of the runs here. But the rare click frenzy or cookie storm will also work, boosting the overall success rate somewhat. During these 77 frenzied seconds, our cookie production first got multiplied from 200 to 1500 cookies per second, and by the end of the frenzy, we will briefly rise to over 9000 cookies per second, moments before the frenzy ends and normality restores. On a side note, on average we clicked only 6.66 times per second during the 8-minute opening of the game. That's fast but achievable. Anyway, the usual opinion seems to be that farms are bad in cookie clicker, but to get to speed baking 3, farms are the key to success in combination with grandmas, thanks to this one incredible upgrade they don't want you to know about. Farmer grandmas, the only synergistic upgrade we will have access to for this run, which not only increases the just doubled farm's CPS by roughly another quarter according to how many grannies you have, but also doubles grandma's CPS yet again, which we then stack up further with another regular grandma doubler. Nice! And that's it. We are done. If you have got all the upgrades with 31 grandmas and 18 farms before the 9.5 minute mark, you've made it in style, as you don't even need to click the cookie anymore, and all the remaining upgrades can be done at a leisurely pace. If you're between 9:30 and 10:15 or so for the split, then keep clicking. And first buy the 10,000 cookie ambidextrous upgrade for 8 cookies per click. And control click 10 more cursors to get 25 of them, which also unlocks 1000 fingers for later. Then resume with the program as described. We are under 9:30 though, so we can flex hard, bruh, and just sit back and relax while making the final purchases as soon as they become available. First, we buy 4 more sets of Grandma, Farm and Mine, which takes almost 2 minutes, and then we wait over another minute to get the Mine Doubler at a whopping 120,000 cookies. You know the drill. After buying a doubler, we buy 5 of the relevant buildings, except when we buy only 4, like this time. If you are still clicking, however, we buy only 3 sets of Grandma, Farm and Mine. Then we interrupt the plan and go for the 100k cookies costing 1000 fingers upgrade, followed immediately by buying 15 more cursors for 40 in total. Only then we go for the 50k cheaper plastic mouse upgrade, which despite having a larger influence on actual clicking, brings no increase to automatic CPS like 1000 fingers does. Obviously, should you have gotten a click frenzy golden cookie earlier, which makes each click worth 777 times the usual, then get all the clicking upgrades immediately and quickly click your way to most of a million. We have almost arrived at the 15-minute cutoff for now, and while Factory would be a solid choice from a pure ROI point of view, there is just too little time left for the long wait to pay off. Close to the 15-minute mark, it is better to skip waiting for the Factory while the last seconds tick away and just continue on the cheaper buildings which pay back less cookies, but hey, at least I do it before the 15 minutes are up. And just like that, we did it. Speed baking 3 in 14 minutes and 52 seconds on just one regular frenzy, without extremely fast clicking and without extreme golden cookie luck like getting a click frenzy or cookie storm. And indeed, we didn't even unlock uncanny clicker during the entire run. We clicked less than 7 times per second during the first 8 minutes only, before abandoning manual cookie production altogether. Let me know what you think in the comments, if you were able to reproduce it or suggest strategy optimizations. I'm sure there are some left and we can get speed baking 3 with even less clicking speed than in this video. For reference, if you follow this strategy but click 1 click per second faster during the opening, you will get the achievement in under 14.5 minutes. I just timed my clicking speed in this video to roughly the minimum possible to still beat the challenge, a process which took many tries and retries, and I have missed the achievement twice by a single second. Anyway, that is all for today, and I will see you all next time.